Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Black Angel Volume 1 and 2, two Japanese thriller action hybrids from 1998 and 1999 that were directed by Takashi Ishii. So let's talk about the first one, Volume 1. Tokyo is a dark technopolis, a city of faceless chrome and cold marble. It's ruled by Nogi, a yakuza boss specializing in drugs and murder. He gained absolute power by executing the former boss and marrying his daughter, Chiaki. Only the mysterious Ikko, Chiaki's half-sister, threatens him. Inspired by a legendary hitwoman, Ikko calls herself the Black Angel and plans to wash away her father's murderer with a deluge of blood. Her vengeance burns out of control as a web of intrigue, double-crossing, and mistaken identity comes crashing down around her. Now, Black Angel has a pretty efficient opening 20 minutes. It gives us an introduction to our protagonist as a child and gives us a few moments with her parents. Then, the rival Yakuza henchmen show up and a violent shootout erupts in the house. The little girl escapes with the help of the older Black Angel, and then we cut to 14 years later when she's an adult. There you go. Primary conflict now set up very efficiently, okay? Similar to his two Gonin films from the 1990s, both of which I already reviewed on this channel, this film by Takashi Ishii is a grimy, kind of mean-spirited Yakuza flick. The criminals are dangerous, there are acts of violence, and some women are put in perilous situations where assault could happen. There's definitely a bit of an edge to this film. It gives it a little bit of an ominous tone. It has just enough grime to have that unsettling tone, but it does avoid becoming too exploitative or nasty, so I kind of like the vibe of this one. The only exception to this tone is there's one funny dance scene that gives some color to our protagonist and her, blonde-haired buddy or partner. It does feel somewhat out of place within the context of the rest of the film, but it's a fun scene. But this film's pretty serious throughout. Ryona Hazuki stars in the lead role. I have not seen her in many movies. I liked her here. That's basically all I can tell you. Kippei Shina has a supporting role, and he's creepy. He plays like this corrupt cop who acts like he's timid, but in actuality he's a ruthless killer. And then Reno Sugi shows up, of course. Now, one thing to understand, this is important, this is more of a dark thriller with some action beats mixed in. This is not like an action-packed movie. And there are no huge action set pieces, really. There's a few moderate ones, but nothing like really big. So just adjust your expectations if you want like a really fast-paced action extravaganza. You might want to avoid this if you're in that mood. But the shootouts are pretty well filmed. They're not like A tier in terms of awesomeness, but they're sufficient. They focus on like painful gunshots instead of stylish choreography. And quite a few people get blown away with point-blank execution shots. Our protagonist is not the greatest fighter in this. She wins in like scrappy ways. She gets roughed up but wins by like cheating with like a concealed weapon, and I kind of like that because it's more realistic than your typical badass assassin movie. There's a lengthy suspense scene of this protagonist attempting to escape from bad guys inside of like a warehouse or building area. And they're mentally and physically tormenting her. And that seemed to be shot in a single take as well, which is quite impressive. And then you get the finale, which is kind of a basic point-and-shoot gunplay scene. Pretty good, but nothing especially memorable, So I'll say on the action front, there's enough to satisfy, but it's not elite. I do think the pacing drags a little bit in spots during the second half of the film, though. There are multiple scenes that move very slowly, and, either people like whispering to each other very slowly and the discussion kind of drags out a little bit, or characters trying to kick a drug habit. They spend quite a bit of time on that. I was definitely like fidgeting a little bit in my seat while watching those particular scenes. One final positive, there are lots of nighttime scenes, which I'm a big fan of. You get some shots of neon lights and stuff like that. I liked it. Whenever the orange lighting showed up, I really enjoyed it as well. So, Black Angel Volume 1 earns a modest recommendation for me. You gotta want a dark, grimy crime thriller. hey, if you want that, check it out. So Black Angel Volume 2, Takashi Ishii returns to the director's seat, okay, for this movie. Not a direct sequel. It's more of an unrelated story with thematic ties, I guess. Our main character this time is a woman named Mayo, played by a different actress, Yuki Amami, who is ordered to assassinate a powerful syndicate leader. Now, the hit goes bad as the crime boss bodyguard steps in the way, and he has a history with this woman. So she escapes with her life, but is ordered to return and finish the job. In the meantime, another woman named Suzu just might complete the job first. Now, like the first film, the mood is grimy. You get violence, stuff like that. There is a very soft middle section to this one, though. There's a lot of dialogue, some flashbacks, scenes of people eating, an assault scene that's pretty disturbing, and one bloody death scene. Like, that's your middle act, you know? And the story and conflict in this one I didn't think were quite as interesting as the first film, and the sense of urgency isn't that great either. And some scenes definitely drag on for too long. In this case, I think the pacing is worse here. Now, in terms of thrills and action, the opening kill is very brief, when our protagonist takes out a few bad guys in an urban area at night. And then the next attempted kill includes a weirder side character who is rollerblading around a parking garage and attempts to steal the kill contract by murdering the target with assistance from his wife. I like that scene. It was a bit different. That's one pretty good scene in the film for sure. And then there's a pretty good shootout during the second half, and then a pretty good fight as well. So I think that's really all that needs to be said about Black Angel Volume 2. I would probably rank it below the first one due to the more prominent pacing issues. However, if you want the first film and you enjoy it, you may as well check out the sequel. And both films are most easily found on DVD, since those have the original Japanese audio and English subtitles. So, again, not huge recommendations here, but maybe if you like the premise, maybe you've seen this director's other stuff, check out the first one. If you like it, give the second one a go. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.